monster?
Do I look like a monster?
I want my daddy!
I don't want your daddy to.
JVC Theater. My name's Jennifer. Let's get started. JVC is proud to introduce a full lineup of new DILA laser projectors. With projection, it is truly all about the picture. JVC continues its legacy by further enhancing unparalleled black levels, the highest native contrast, increased brightness, superior resolution, and unmatched color saturation. The first demonstration JVC is pleased to show is the newly announced DLA NZ500, also known as the DLA RS1200. This brand new projector is the world's smallest native 4K laser projector available today. The model offers native 4K DILA devices with a 2000 lumen fluorescent laser and a stunning native contrast ratio of 40,000 to 1. A fully motorized 4K lens provides flexibility for easy installation. Exceptional picture quality is achieved with high contrast optics, 100% Rec 709 color space, vivid picture mode, and second generation frame adapt HDR dynamic tone mapping. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Elemental, followed by Ant-Man.
There you are.
Daddy, is that you?
Hi, Peanut.
Hi, Jordan. How's it going, man? I'm Anthony Grimani, and I'm here at CEDIA Expo 2024. CEDIA is a really important show for us. It's where the integrators we work with a lot, our integration partners come to, and we're showing them a sound system over here. We're partnered with JVC and Stewart Film Screen. The surround processor we're using is an Anthem. And for this room, we're using Cinema 5. Cinema 5 is one of our 5 packages of cinemas. We call them ensembles. Now, interesting narrative about why we're doing this here is last year we came out to this show and did a really big, expensive, high-end booth using our Cinema 1 system. That's our big cannons, up there in price point. The price point matched the kind of projector, the kind of sources, the kind of client that uses that. Here, we're doing the opposite end of that spectrum using Cinema 5, which is a group of relatively small speakers and subwoofers in a room that's appropriately sized. So this room's 20 feet long by about 18 wide. It's just a perfect size for Cinema 5. And you heard it, it cranks. It's a relatively simple system to set up. All of the speakers come with their own amplifiers. They're tuned perfectly for the room. We include acoustics and calibration services. And in the end, the demo is really, really clean, really clear, especially for the money.
The second demonstration will be a clip from Aquaman 2, displayed on JVC's DLA NZ900, also known as the DLA RS4200. This projector is JVC's flagship model, offering third generation native 4K DILA devices with 8K eShift X technology to achieve 8K resolution of over 35 million addressable pixels. The fluorescent laser light source is 3,300 lumens, and the model offers new features with Generation 2 Frame Adapt HDR dynamic tone mapping, deep black tone control, vivid picture mode, and a jaw-dropping 150,000 to 1 native contrast. It truly is the art of projection.
When in our work, we actually like to spec the sound system as appropriate for the room. Not just put one that's like way too big and powerful for what you need. You're never going to use it. This particular room is appropriate for Cinema 5. The projection equipment, the source equipment, everything priced at the right place for Cinema 5. And the benefit for the folks here is they get to experience the full range of what we do. They heard and saw Cinema 1 last year. This year they're seeing Cinema 5. That's why we did it. Our range of products goes from this entry level, which is again very reasonably priced, all the way up to something that matches what you would do with a $200,000 projection system and a big 35-foot long room. And I just wanted people to know that the reason this was interesting to me is I want people to see that we have a range, not just things that are at this stratospheric high end. We have a high end, we have a mid end, and we have an entry level solution, largely based on room size. The sound quality is the same. That's what's interesting in our process and policy is our small speakers sound as good as the big speakers. They just don't play as loud. They're appropriate for a smaller room. So yeah, consulting. Really putting together a good home theater, good home cinema, or what I like to call a media lounge, which is a space that isn't really just a dedicated room. It's a lot of challenges. It's an engineering process to figure out where the speakers need to be, where the screen needs to be, what the power needs to be, what the acoustics need to be, what the light control needs to be. There's a lot of details. When we do that, we take hours and hours and hours using these very advanced spreadsheets and modeling tools to figure out what to do right so that you do it only once right. So we like to encourage people to put some energy up front into the thinking, brainstorming, engineering, modeling, and documentation so that you only build it once and you build it right. So in this demo room, in partnership with JVC Projection, the sound system that's in there is what would be called a 5.4.2 in the parlance of immersive audio. It's 3 front speakers. The left and rights are our smallest Rixos SND speakers, a little bookshelf speaker like this. The center channel is a horizontal layout, but it's a 2.5-way speaker, so you don't have any errors in lobing. So the sound, whether you're straight in front or 1 seat to the left, 2 seats to the left or to the right, is consistent. Really important to think of that. Not just right in front, no hot spots, just a really even distribution. That's what's called a Rixos H2. The side speakers, or the surround speakers, are a Rixos SNR, it's called. It's a similar technology as the fronts, but a form factor that's really flat and made to go on the wall or in the wall and kind of disappear. We have a pair of top speakers that are what's called a Rixos W, and W meaning that it's a wedge-shaped speaker. It's about this tall, it's 4.5 inches tall. It's got a 6.5-inch woofer and a tweeter and a waveguide that's angled so it fires down at the listening position. There's a pair of those up on the ceiling in there. And finally, for subwoofers in there, we had 4 of our Zeta subwoofers, which are about a 12-inch diameter drive unit, with each one of those getting about 800 watts worth of power. So that was enough to be able to drive that system in this very noisy environment that is called the CEDIA Expo. The average background noise in here is like 55 or 60 dB. We need to get over that. So at a price point level, Cinema 5 starts at $28,000 for a room that's 18 to 20 foot long. People call it deep. I like to call that length. So maybe like 18 to 20 long by 16 or so wide. And entry point of that is about $28,000, where you're going to get a reasonable sound pressure level. If you're a bit of a bass freak, where you like the bass to pump up a little bit, you'll want to add about $3,000 or $4,000 in that for either more or bigger subwoofers. If you want a lot of immersive audio, you can also add more speakers for the top channels, and you can climb up. But the base package is $28K. So yeah, Grimani systems versus other products. Look, the reality is there's a lot of really good speakers out on the market, a lot, and given enough engineering and expertise, you can tune them to sound wonderful. Grimani Systems was actually designed to solve a whole bunch of the little idiosyncrasies and issues we saw in speaker design out there, and brings in new technologies that haven't really been done before on speakers. So the tweeters are all loaded into waveguides that take the sound of a tweeter that would otherwise have a bit of a hot spot, and instead of that, it distributes it evenly into the room. So no matter where you sit, you have really even sound character. The speakers are all active, so as opposed to using one amplifier to drive the woofer, mid-range, and tweeter, we have an individual amplifier for each drive unit, and the crossover for that is done in the amplifier in the digital domain, so it's very precise and very advanced. So it makes for more efficient speakers. So what you'll find, and I think you heard that over there, is this our speaker that's about this size plays as loud as something that would normally be that big. You may have noticed that in the room there. So the speakers are more efficient. They have a wider coverage in the room, so you can have all of your friends sit in there and enjoy it and be impressed by how great the room is. They also tend to be built really shallow on purpose. So most of our speakers are either 4 or 6 inches deep, so you can put them on the wall or in the wall and have great audiophile sound quality without it be a big behemoth that you got to put in the room and take up a lot of space. So there's a bunch of other little benefits, but primarily I would say a forward-thinking speaker system that brings ideas of the 21st century digital connected world into speakers. I'll say this one last thing that's kind of interesting. All of the speakers are driven by amps that come with the speakers, and the amps are all networked. You can actually feed through the networking. You can feed direct digital audio right into the speaker without an analog cable. You can also connect it to the network and control the speaker locally, or you can control it from far away. So we have clients that ask us, hey, my buddies are all coming over tomorrow. I want to make sure the system's working. And without needing to go over and check it out, I can log in by remote, run a few tests, and verify that the system's working correctly from wherever I may be in the world. That's very advanced. That's leveraging the power of internet technology applied to sound systems. Nobody else is doing that. So coming to you live from the Denver Convention Center at CEDIA 2024. Thanks for listening. We're going to be here next year again. We're always at the CEDIA Expo. We'll be at other venues. We have showrooms a little bit around the country and actually around the world. We have places you can experience what we do at different parts. Take a look at our website. It's grimanisystems.com or grimani.tv. That's spelled G-R-I. So it's like my name here. Grimani. You either add systems.com or grimani.tv. You can look at all the products in there. You can reach out to us if you want consulting on what to do, explore options of what's right for your application. We have solutions for dedicated theaters, and like I said earlier, media lounges, the whole range of applications. Just reach out and we'll help you out.